A big shout out to the Defiance and Napoleon cheerleaders for that nice intro.
Yeah, thank you, ladies.
Yeah. Welcome to the Tim and Chuck High School Football Show presented by Batt & Stevens Body Shop. We are here on location at Frickers of Defiance, the new host of the show. We would like to welcome them to our sponsorship team.
Yeah, Christopher and his crew treating us right here.
Yeah, I'm Tim McDonough, joined by my esteemed colleague, Chuck Martinez-Brandon. Week one's in the book, Chuck, so we have some exciting games. Napoleon rallying past Defiance.
Oh, yeah.
Hicksville rallying past Archbold. We've got Antwerp with 18 guys beating Eden in their opener. I mean, that's just
right.
the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy week one. It's one of those you never quite know what you have. Even though you have scrimmages and stuff, you never know what you have until, you know, that first kickoff of week one. And then it was a fun week. It was great.
Yeah, how about Napoleon rallying with 2 touchdowns with less than 2 minutes to go, getting the onside kick and scoring with around 10 seconds to go?
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's something that you always practice, onside kicks, and sometimes you don't ever even use them in a season, but to get 2 in one game, that's phenomenal.
Blake Dunbar led the rally last year for Napoleon over Defiance, did it again this year. And how about Hicksville? Same boat. They had to get a defensive stop, scored twice, got an onside kick, and they beat Archbold for the first time in 4 tries.
Yeah, you know, and that's fun to be a part of that kind of stuff because it's all going so fast. It's just like everything's in fast forward motion. And again, it's stuff you practice. So when you get to actually use it and it comes out and it works out for you, it just makes it that much more fun.
Okay, so we've got Antwerp, like we said, 18 kids.
Yeah.
Defeating Eden. Next year, they're going to a JV schedule to try to get the program back in order. They already have more wins than last year. Or are they tied their win record? I mean, just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's phenomenal. You think about it, but us football coaches like to say you only need 11 guys to play anyway. So, you know, they got like 7 extra guys, right? But, I mean, for them to everybody's looking past Antwerp and thinking, man, they're not even going to play next year. But for them to come out week one and beat an Eden team that was in the playoffs last year says a lot.
Playoffs?
Playoffs. We're talking playoffs.
Yeah.
It's only week 2.
It's only it's crazy. It's crazy. So why don't we jump into a couple of big games this week, Chuck?
Okay.
Usually this week we talk about Napoleon and Wauseon. Not this year.
Nope.
Wauseon's off Napoleon's schedule. Insert Liberty Center. Wow. Henry County rivals just down the road. Napoleon is making that trip to Liberty Center. Like we said, Napoleon beat Defiance. Yeah. Liberty Center got it handed to him by Tenora last week. What do you think about this matchup?
You know what? All I know is Henry County people support their football teams. They will probably be 5 deep around the fence at this game. With the 2 storied football programs, 2 of the 3 probably, you know, if you add PH in there, but 2 of the 3 facing off. I mean, this game is going to be crazy. This is a game that people wanted in Henry County for a long, long time.
Well, like I said, Blake Dunbar had a big game for Napoleon. I think he ran for 1, threw for 3. Lane Schnitz-Paxton, the big receiver, had 3 touchdowns. Zach Plassman ran for a couple for Napoleon in that win. The lone bright spot maybe for Liberty Center was Zach Carpenter. He ran for 123 yards in their only score. They're going to need to get that offense going to do something against Napoleon.
Yeah, they sure will. And, you know, if you're Liberty Center, you're coming in fired up because Napoleon's always been the big brother in Henry County. So they're going to come in fired up for that. And if you're Napoleon, you got to watch for a little bit of a letdown. You win the River Rock, and, you know, you hope that you got to keep your kids focused on this big game this week, too. Yeah.
Well, let's turn it over to a game that's been pretty big in the NWAL. We've got Patrick Henry, 1-0, the Joe Kirkendall era. They rallied past Edgerton against Bryan, who rallied past Van Wert. Both scored late to win those 2 football games. No Austin Schimmoller and company for Bryan this year.
That's right, you know, and it's going to be a game of 2 good squads. You know, some people might look at it and say, is it sort of a changing of the guards? Patrick Henry ran the NWAL for years and years and years, and now Bryan, you know, is one of the powers there. But it's going to be a great game between two programs that are, you know, still can play some football.
Well, Neil Storch had 3 touchdown passes last week from Kyler Seaman for Patrick Henry to help that rally. And then we had Bryan scoring the winning touchdown, I think, with 17 seconds. Yeah. Brandon Dean, their quarterback, ran that in from 3 yards out. Also threw for a couple of touchdowns. Like we said, no Austin Schimmoller, Brandon Dean's the guy there.
That's right, you know, and Bryan's offense, they can strike quick. You might have a 2 or 3 touchdown lead on them, but in an offense like Bryan runs, that's only 2 or 3 plays. When you think about it, they can strike that quick. So, again, it's going to be a great game, and it's going to, again, come down to the final plays.
And we're going to have our cameras there on that game to bring you all the highlights. And next week's Rose Insurance Collision of the Week and Staff Mark Play of the Week will be from that game.
Great.
So let's take a little break right here, Chuck. We'll be right back.
Did you know that you can have complete access to stories, pictures, and the e-edition at Crescent-News.com for just $7 a month?
Become an online subscriber to Crescent-News.com now.
by calling me, Abby, at 419-784-5441, extension 233, or visiting the Crescent News online subscribe section on the top right corner of our homepage.
And we're back, and Chuck, back by popular demand.
That's right.
We have the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week. What do they say about the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week, Chuck?
You know, Tim, a hit by any other name would not be the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week.
Well, what do we have, Chuck?
You know, hey, the big river rivalry, Defiance Napoleon, Ty Castillo, you see him here. This is a great carryover. You know he saw this play all week in practice. You know he saw it on film. He reads bubble, and he just comes downhill and blam, lights him up.
Bo Cochran going down. Not a complete pass.
No.
Congratulations to you, Ty, for the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week. This week's Staff Mark Play of the Week, or non-play of the week,
That's right,
comes to us from, of course, the River Rivalry. We have Bo Cochran returning a kickoff. Defiance has gone up 43-34 late in that game, throwing down the middle of the field. We've got Damian Elford of Defiance coming up, putting a hit on him.
Yes,
ball
beautiful.
comes
Bite
loose.
the ball, baby.
Austin Alinger of Defiance recovers it. Defiance sidelines goes crazy. They think that they're going to win this game, but wait.
Oh, slow your roll.
It was ruled not a fumble, and Napoleon gets the ball back. That was a big play because Napoleon went on to score a touchdown, get the onside kick, score the winning touchdown. They win the River Rivalry. They get the rock.
Yep.
Here's the reaction of both coaches at the end of that game.
But we made a tremendous play on that kickoff return where we recovered that ball. Game over. You can write that any way you want.
I had a pretty good look at it, and let's just say I think we caught a break there. Let me say this as well. I'll piggyback and say they caught a couple of pretty big breaks too. One being fourth down on a pass to Michael Gillen down the middle of the field.
And I was going to allude to that because I thought that
those
was
things even out though.
Yeah.
Those things even out.
So you saw the reaction, Chuck. What do you think?
You know, as a coach, you want it to be decided on the field. You don't want to call one way or the other to ever, have a big say in the outcome of a game like that. Coach Strock is sort of right, too. During the ebb and flow of a game, you're going to have points where one team might get a couple calls, another team might get a couple calls. But, man, when it's a rivalry like that, it just makes it that much more magnified when something like that happens. But, you can't really fault the kids. The Defiance kids went hard. I mean, they did everything they could in that play to try to create the turnover. And Napoleon kids, that they were going hard too. It's just one of those things that happens in sports sometimes.
Yeah, and like you said, the Defiance kids played amazing. Alex Gonzalez is coming out party at quarterback for Defiance. Yeah. I mean, there's highlights all over that video from what he did in that game.
It's phenomenal considering a week ago at their last scrimmage, Coach Beauty said, I don't know. We've got three guys and nobody's really stepped forward. And for him to have that performance and really what is the biggest game of the year unless you make the playoffs, I mean, that's phenomenal.
That is our Staff Mark Play of the Week. And a good one it was.
That's right. That's what. And in a rivalry game like that, it's so hard to just choose one play because there are so many plays where you got 22 guys just butting heads and going after it. So to just choose one play is sort of hard, but sometimes it comes down to a play.
Yes, it does. All right, we'd like to thank our sponsors once again for helping us do this each week. Our title sponsor, Batt & Stevens Body Shop. We'd like to thank Frickers for having us. Welcome.
That's right, thank you.
And of course to Rose Insurance and Staff Mark for the collision and play of the week. We'll be back for week 3. See you then.